for quick and easy banking on your mobile, like checking your balance or transferring money. Use our mobile banking services today. To find out more, visit us online at ecobank.com. Move on up with Ecobank, the Pan-African bank.
Hello again, you're welcome to the Markets Please. Now, it may take a while for international investors to respond positively to Ghana's successful elections, which also coincided in a change in government. That's according to analysts who attribute this to timing of the election's outcome vis-a-vis expected economic developments in the United States and Europe. Ghana's President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo has emphasized his immediate priority will be tackling the country's huge debt and growing what he deems the declining economy. BBC's Russell Patmore, however, explains international economic dynamics may initially make it challenging for Ghana.
Ghana finds itself in great competition for foreign investment. We have to face up to that reality, and indeed a lot of the major fund managers around the world, those that manage pension funds, whether it be in New York or London, looking to invest in so-called emerging markets like Ghana, will know that there are other places to invest their money too. But I suppose a lot of the investment decisions have been put on pause at the moment as we wait to see what happens in the United States, because this is the world's biggest economy. All the signs and interest rates are on the rise for the United States. But what is President-elect Donald Trump going to do as regards the American economy? Because this is the world's #1 economy. Decisions made in Washington influence the global economy and by extension influence the factors that are guiding the Ghanaian economy. Here in Europe, we require, I suppose, significant recoveries of the economies here too for much more confidence to come into the markets. And when we have confidence, then we can see that confidence spreading throughout the world, and that's what Ghana really needs to happen. Ultimately, there are encouraging signs for Ghana. This is the key thing. Economically, one big challenge that Ghana has is dealing with the huge debt that the country has built up. And of course, the International Monetary Fund has come to the rescue initially, and following the guidelines of the IMF is the kind of encouragement that foreign investors would like to see Ghana following. The president and the party which have taken him into office have said they're in favor of the IMF's program, so all the signs are quite encouraging for Ghana.
That was BBC's Russell Patmore. Now, moving on, a baseline research conducted by the Western Region Coastal Foundation has revealed that oil and gas-related activities in the area have boosted the general business climate in the region. This, according to the study, has also led to marginal decline in poverty. Kweku Osopepra has the rest of the story.
A preliminary study conducted by the Western Region Coastal Foundation has found that poverty is very prevalent in 3 of the coastal districts affected by oil and gas production in Ghana. The Nzima East, Elembele, and Jomoro districts were found to be the most deprived as compared to the Sekondi Takoradi Metropolis, Ahanta West, and the Shamar districts. Speaking to Joy Business on a baseline research to analyze the extent of poverty and business opportunities within the 6 coastal districts, Mr. Matthew Ama, team leader of the Western Regional Coastal Foundation, explained that though poverty is prevalent, communities are committed to making the investments in the programs and avenues which will improve their income level.
Poverty has dropped. I mean, that is, and now this research is basically a one-time event, is a baseline trying to see where the differences are. We're trying to look at the communities in which we are providing dialogue vis-a-vis the communities in which we are not providing dialogue. What we notice is that communities tend to get their information not from the website but from the radio, not from the newspaper but from the radio. So
the business community, led by Stefan Abbas Mieza, who is the chairman of the Western Region Chamber of Commerce and Industry, expressed the hope that with improved infrastructural development, members of the Chamber of Commerce can support business growth.
Out of the 6 coastal regions, if you take the infrastructure, it was about 80% of the worries of the people of the 6 coastal regions. And this is something that cuts across the whole of the Western region. So yes, this is important that government policymakers speak on it to see what they can do towards that direction.
For his part, the Takoradi District Chairman of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders says government should begin to institute measures that would regularize the freight rate for shipping lines which operate between the Tema Port and the Takoradi Port. Mr. Paul Kwabena Mensah says the high freight rate between the Tema Port and the Port of Takoradi continues to affect the shipping community and puts the Port of Takoradi at a disadvantage.
As a country which is very small and two ports not too wide apart, there could be some policy for shipping lines that since they are not that wide apart, why can't you have one freight, both Tema and Takoradi, so that whoever brings goods to Takoradi Port or goes to Tema Port will going to pay the same freight rate.
He says, though the government is working to position the Port of Takoradi as an oil and gas hub, the shipping community still needs to find innovative ways of conducting their businesses profitably in the port. Kweku Owusu-Pepra, Joy Business, Takoradi.
Now moving down to the downstream sector of the industry, indigenous oil marketing company GOIL has embarked on strategic acquisitions of some smaller fuel service station outlets. This is because of the huge debt overhang and some other challenges which are threatening their continuous stay in business. In an interview with Joy Business, Managing Director of GOIL, Patrick Kwame Akoli, said the company is taking the advantage of this to acquire selected service stations to further expand its operations in the country.
There are about 35 oil marketing companies across the country, retailing various petroleum products, including diesel, liquefied petroleum gas, and gasoline, among others. Unfortunately, the economic environment for some time now has been a disincentive to many of these businesses. The government's indebtedness to bulk distribution companies runs into some billions of cedis and affecting the downstream petroleum sector. Managing Director of the largest oil marketing company in the country, Patrick Akoli, said the company is expanding its operations through the acquisition of many service stations belonging to smaller operators struggling to stay in business. He said GOIL is looking forward to dominating Ghana's downstream sector in the near future.
Yes, as of now we have about 250 stations. This year we have acquired 20 more. So we're doing some of these things.
You've acquired from the small OMCs?
Yes, because they are really in distress, some of them. Okay. You've taken a lot of bank loans, they cannot pay. Because the industry is such that the margins, people don't know, the margins are so small. So if you don't do things right, you collapse.
So are you looking forward to acquiring more?
Sure. Why? We want to be in every district. We want to be everywhere. God should be a hustle. God should, every Ghanaian should feel proud that God is in the area.
Patrick Akoli explains plans in place by the company to enter into other African markets.
And then we think it is time to move to the sub-region, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, where a lot of mining activities are now taking place after the Ebola scare. Because these are countries that are coming out of war. So we have already sent scouts there to look at the terrain and see how we can go and play the game over there. So GOIL has a future because of the things that we are doing. We are putting out facilities at Takoradi to start serious banking business.
Joy Business will be observing the impact on the competition and the benefits to consumers of such strategic acquisitions.
Now, energy expert Ishmael Ejekumihene is calling on the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, to reverse the trend of domestic consumers of power paying higher bills than businesses. Ishmael Ejekumihene believes the trend could best be averted should power regulators devise methods to cushion businesses. He emphasized high utilities could plunge businesses into recession. He was speaking with Joy Business on the challenges the ECG faces ahead of 2017.
In Ghana, whereas elsewhere it's the residential consumers that end up subsidizing businesses, in Ghana it's the other way around. So you have the tariff for the non-residential customers to be higher than the residential customers. That has to change because the whole rationale behind that structure is that, look, these people are also providing business for the residential people to even have jobs. So elsewhere is the other way around. In Ghana, since 1998, the advent of PURC, it's been the other way around. So that will be a long-term restructuring and realignment of tariffs to ensure that the residential customers do pay more, because we are just using electricity for comfort and also for entertainment in most cases. So, but in the short term, I think that it's been clear. The government says they're going to, incoming administration, they campaign that they're going to take away the VAT. They also said that they're going to make sure that agreements that are not well structured and a lot in our interest will be looked at again and all that. But I guess the reality is whether those contracts there are clauses in there that allow one to look into it again. Otherwise, we stuck with those agreements. So we only have to make sure that we are actually generating at levels that are not going to, if you have too many plants running on light crude oil, and now that signals are such that even on the world market, the crude prices are picking up now, following the cutting supplied by OPEC. It means that it's not going to be, no longer going to be $42 a barrel. We are now approaching $60 a barrel. If that development continues, then it means that more money will be required.
It's live on the marketplace. Moving on, beverage manufacturing firm Accra Breweries Limited has put in place plans to mitigate the negative impact on production should any power crisis occur from next year. In an interview with Joy Business, Corporate and Legal Affairs Director Ajoba Chiama noted the company has installed a power generation plant and also looking at a renewable energy source as a long-term plan. She spoke with Joy Business in an interview after the tour of the company's newly expanded packaging line in Accra.
There is no doubt that Ghana's manufacturing sector will continue to face challenges as a result of power inconsistencies and other unfavorable economic conditions. For now, some companies have registered their intention to lay off workers. Furthermore, many of the companies rely heavily on generators and power plants to mitigate any power problems. With the latest report by the African Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, on the likelihood of a return to the power challenges, Accra Brewery Limited said it has put in place measures to control any challenge that might come in the near future. Director of Corporate and Legal Affairs Ajoba Chiama, in an interview, hinted the company is also looking at making use of renewable energy sources as a long-term solution.
You know, when we went through the load shedding period, we put backup measures in place. So we installed 3 new generators, power generation equipment, and therefore we are ready for any eventuality.
Are you looking out for renewable energy as well?
Of course, I mean, it's a long-term objective, you know, because it's more environmentally friendly, and it's one of our sustainable development ambitions. However, at this moment, we have other capital expansion plans, and therefore it's not in our short-term plans.
She spoke with Joy Business after taking some journalists on a tour of the company's expansion works, including a newly constructed packaging line and brewery plant for one of its major brands. She explains the rationale behind the expansion.
Business has been in existence since 1931, and therefore periodically we need to, of course, upgrade the equipment. And as demand has grown, the population has grown, demand has grown, we've needed to also expand. So it's more to meet consumer needs and then also to modernize our business.
The second phase of the project will include an installation of a solar-powered street light on site, the beginning of the long-term plan on renewable.
The country. Not only are there few jobs, many organizations are rather reluctant to take up the services of fresh graduates because of what they deem lack of experience. In their bid to help address the problem, 2 young men have set up what they call the Africa Internship Academy with the aim of grooming job seekers and job makers alike. The co-founders, Emmanuel Leslie Ade and Daniel Entry, share their full story on a repeat of the Joy Business Van.
There's been much talk about grooming graduates to become entrepreneurs. And here's the truth. Employment trends aren't looking good for graduates. And yes, it may be true there are no jobs, but also true is that most graduates lack the skill and experience that employers seek. It's a problem Emmanuel Adai and Daniel Entry know too well. Their quest to help find a solution will lead to the idea of the Africa Internship Academy. And that's where the Joy Business Van is headed today.
I always use my case as an example that when I was my 3rd year at the university, our internship was a part of the requirement that you need to do before you graduate. I searched, I didn't find a place for internship. So what I did was I sent my form to my senior brother to complete it for me. And the school never asked me, where did you do an internship? All what they were looking for is the form completed. And I did that for them. So after university, I thought I've done good. After university, I realized I don't have any experience. So I spent even 6 months and to a year to do internship before getting a full-time job. So with all these problems, we realized, no, how can we help the younger ones who are coming to this space? Why don't we create an academy where people can come and do internships?
Through internally generated funds, the two who formerly ran a software company called ProMobile GH got the academy running, enrolling about 50 interns.
When you come, you should just get that environment, or you should get that feeling you are working in a Vodafone or a Jumia or a Tigo or a Microsoft or a HP. That is the kind of atmosphere we have created here. And so it's a workspace kind of ambience. You come here excited because you know you are coming to work. And for the kind of thing that happens here, so they are into projects and they are into teams. And facilitators try to build models for them. And these models are models that are needed in any organization in any day.
Well, today, Amin Sule, co-founder of the startup Zarko, is passing through the academy.
I make charcoal sexy. Most of you know how charcoal is made. We cut down trees, we burn them. If they don't burn to ashes, we get charcoal. Then we bag them in big sacks, we sell them in the country. That is how charcoal is usually made in Ghana. So like I said earlier, instead of telling you what I am or knowing what you do, I'm going to tell you what I am not.
For interns like Mildred Yanka and Joseph Zotu, such grooming gives them the needed impetus to pursue their career goals.
We've done a lot of things here about writing proposals, writing projects, writing business plans, and a whole lot. So I want to fuse everything I've learned here into building up myself, then building the franchise so that I'll be able to sell it, first of all, to the market out there. When I get people to be interested, then it won't be difficult to reach out to Africa first and then to the world at large.
As it stands now, I have a staff of about 5 people with Smart Errand, and Find Me, we do it on contractual basis, so it's not a permanent staff, it's temporary. Anytime we have a contract, that's when we get people to come on board. We don't have any office, and so this looked like an office setting for me to come and experience how, when I get my office, I would create the culture of working and getting people to also do the same with me.
The Africa Internship Academy, like the name suggests, is not a Ghana thing. Emmanuel and Daniel have a dream for Africa.
Yeah, so continentally, we're hoping to impact the lives of 100 million youth on the continent in the next 10 years. That is what AI seeks to achieve.
And that is real ambition.
So you catch the Business Live, catch the Joy Business Van every Wednesday on Business Live with a repeat on the marketplace. Now, many economic books will tell you that prices hardly go downwards unless there is a special promotion to boost sales. At Abosokai Spare Parts Hub here in Accra, however, the traders have reduced their prices, citing the campaign promised by the NPP to reduce taxes when elected into office. Kukuaban reports in a special Friday feature how this may pose undue pressure to the incoming government.
We are currently at the Abossey-Okai spare parts market, where we understand prices of their products here have been reduced drastically following the election of the New Patriotic Party into office for the year 2017. And I have a driver who tells me he's bought a fuel pump this morning, which has been reduced for him. Let's find out from him exactly by how much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Pacho, you're from
Yawasari.
Now, what's the fuel pump in it?
Into fuel pump in there. Last week in last week in Bay almost for 3.5.
My fuel pump got damaged last week, and when I came here to buy one, they told me it was going for 350 cedis. But now they've slashed it to 200 cedis, saying the incoming government has assured to reduce the taxes on imports.
Another about so you made them what we said, and also do our Sabano. No more bill harbor honum. Another about so the Martin Bia Samai. I'm a Bia so as you want to, and so you they see Diamond, my never promote them. Then another Yaman and Yabano, then another Nabo, a Yaman and Abagana. Today, Ujidi say Bia obey here via Obaha, or Metis or Swama, and I say Pump and Quano Matis. The Bayan Bia, Jide Semet to Betsaman.
I have so many other friends who also have benefited from this. We hope this will continue so we could make enough profits to cater for our families.
So you just had a taxi driver tell us that a fuel pump which was going for 350 last week is now going for 200 Ghana cedis. Let's enter this system shop and find out also what the situation is like over here. Me watching. Number 12 saying. Number 12 Philip Odey. Okay, me also on card tapes ni speakers ni ade wa ha. Business is saying. Business boko. You drive a big assassin see our fuel pump or toy or see 350 cedis na no ton last week, and now turn to 200 cedis. Also near ma it is saying. Me patch us and pepe. Emra ye two abana ye declare and ye pony for me say. And now I'm saying I never tax me be back from say any man. Now the might say 500 Ghana cedis. Say on base you at the amount to say 4.5. Send a bear you beat me.
I have also reduced the prices of my products. I was just last week selling this video player at 550 cedis because I was buying it at 500 cedis. Now I am selling it for 500 cedis because it's been sold to me for 450 cedis. We are only praying that the party will keep its promises so that we could continue to reduce the prices.
Okay, into say when now also not first say 500, so many more 450. Into also turn is best. Me just somebody make 450 now. You better on 500.
Now I am selling it for 500 cedis because it's been sold to me for 450 cedis. We are only praying that the party will keep its promises so that we could continue to reduce the prices.
You are turn 150, but they say all the man 80 cedis. And they say a ton of 100 cedis. Our next stop is a lamps shop, and here also we understand the prices have been reduced quite drastically. And this gentleman here is the owner of the shop. He tells me he's called Osei. Business so far you look at crack. Yes, prices.
We're reducing the prices because we believe the NPP will keep its promises to improve the economy. They've done it before, so we have no doubts in our minds at all. We never increased the prices earlier to sabotage the government. The exchange rates was simply bad, and we were making a lot of losses, so we needed to keep the prices a bit high so we could stay in business.
Well, so that will be it for this edition of the Marketplace, which happens to be the last for the week. And we thank you so much for your company, and we hope you do join us again same time next Monday for another edition of the Marketplace. My name is Emmanuel Apuachi. Have a good afternoon.